Introduction to data analysis. Welcome to Introduction to Data Analysis. This is the first class in data analysis using Microsoft Excel program. Welcome to Introduction to Data Analysis. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see my screen. We are live. Let me know if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can hear me. I welcome everyone to the Introduction to Data Analysis, the first class in this scholarship program. If you are with me here, kindly drop in the comment section. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see my screen. Welcome. I will be your facilitator for this program. I remain Franklin. I'm a data analyst with over 7 years experience in data analysis. I'm also a recruitment and management consultant. I major in data. I major in using data to drive insights, major in using data to form strategic development, even data to drive sales, financial data, even human data. So I will be your facilitator. My name is Mr. Franklin. Like I said, I'm a data analyst. All right, welcome guys. We are still waiting for others to join us before we proceed tonight. This scholarship program is aimed at equipping everyone to become a pro. Said that Excel is the foundational start of every data analysis or every data analyst. If you are to be effective in data analysis, you need to start with Microsoft Excel. Every now and then, every time I teach students, I talk to audience concerning data analysis, I let them know that data analysis is something that everyone will definitely need. It is irrespective of your field, it's irrespective of your profession. Every profession, every field, every institution makes use of data in one way or the other. And because of the need for data, because of the rise in the importance of making use of data in order to drive informed decisions, data analysts are highly sought after across the globe. The benefit and the opportunities that lies being a data analyst is so enormous. So that is why this scholarship program is organized, and I want to thank the sponsor of this scholarship for giving people the privilege of being mentored and tutored in data analysis. I want to appreciate the government via NYSC who give this privilege to youths, to corps members, to graduates, undergraduates to become a data analyst. And the starting point, every now and then, if you see any data analyst, the starting point we tell you need to start from Microsoft Excel. And we are launching every participant into becoming a data analyst. It is something that gives you privilege to work from anywhere. You can work from home, you can work as hybrid, you can work a full time. it gives you time, it gives you flexibility, as we are going to be getting to understand in this course. So please, if you are just joining us, drop in the comment section. Attendance is mandatory, like we said. As you are joining us, please, your name and your scholarship ID. That is what we will need, your name and your scholarship ID. And also feel free to let us know where you are joining us from. Your name and your scholarship ID. Please go ahead, drop it in the comment section. We will be taking attendance. Attendance is mandatory. From time to time in this class, I will be making sure that every one of us is here with me. Attendance is highly mandatory. So go ahead, drop your name and your scholarship ID. This is what we are going to be using as an attendance, to this training. Like we have said, attendance is mandatory. So please, those of us that are here with me, we are over 100 in the men's scholarship group and over 200 in the onboarding group. So I need us to go ahead, drop your comment, drop in the comment section in the chat box your name and your scholarship ID. Let's go, please. I need to get that before we proceed. Before we proceed in this introduction class, in this introduction to data analysis. I welcome every one of us here. So I need us to go ahead and drop in the chat box your name and your scholarship ID. If you haven't gotten your scholarship ID, you also let me know that yes, you haven't gotten your scholarship ID. I have seen people dropping their names. Please, your name and your scholarship ID, very important. Only those that have been given their scholarship ID are going to be awarded the certificate at the end of this course. This is not just any training, it's a certification training. You are going to be awarded a certification in Microsoft as a certified Microsoft data analyst and using Microsoft Excel. So go ahead. All right, I'm seeing someone. Okay. All right. Marvelous. I've seen you from Oyo State. Thank you. Your scholarship ID is 16. Noted. Fumilayo Ayomikun, please forgive me if I didn't pronounce it correctly. Those of us that doesn't have scholarships, after now, if you are in the onboarding group, I have been posting it every now and then, for you to submit your criteria, the screenshot of your submission to the community manager so as to get your scholarship ID. The scholarship ID is what will give you the privilege to get the certificate at the end of the day. So please, go ahead and get it. All right. I'm seeing Abubakar Saidu. Your scholarship ID wasn't given. Okay. Felicia, all right, 28. Additional 59. Adioye 11. Please, as you join, keep dropping it. Is part of the attendance. This is part of the attendance for this course. Is going to be attendance for this course. Very important. If you are joining, drop your name and your scholarship ID. That is what we are going to be using as regards to attendance. If you don't have scholarship ID, also drop your name. If you are in the onboarding group and you haven't gotten your scholarship ID, also drop your name in the chat box, and ensure that at the end of tonight's section, before tomorrow, you are going to get your scholarship ID. Submit the things that are needed for you to get your scholarship ID. All right. Without wasting much time, let's go into what we have for today. Today is introduction to data analysis. Today's class is not meant to be that long. We are going to get us to understand and know what we are going into. At the end of the day, what we are going to be. All right, like we have introduction to data analysis. Please Those of the two groups, those of us that are in the onboarding group and then in the men's scholarship group, please drop it in the group. Let everyone know we are live. Like I said, attendance is mandatory and your project is very, very important. All right, please help me do that. Go to the onboarding group, drop it in this comment in the group that we are live. Help me to do that we are live. All right, introduction to data analysis. What is data analysis? Today we are going to be covering this introduction class in four modules. The first is the overview of data analysis. After that, we will move to importance of data analysis, then the key concepts and terminologies, and then data collection. As a data analyst, you need to understand certain key terminologies. You need to know what data collection is. You need to understand the importance of what we have. I'm going to be working with time in tonight's section. Tomorrow, we are going to be starting powerfully well. We are going to be starting powerfully. You are going to be laying a lot of foundation in Microsoft Excel. So none of us is permitted to miss tomorrow's section. However, if someone chat me up and said this, if you were not able to be limited, ensure you watch the live program again, ensure you rewatch it and then submit your. That means we are going to have 6 projects in this scholarship program, 6 real life projects. And why is this project very, very important? Why are these projects very essential? Because a data analyst need to have a portfolio, need to build a portfolio, need to have a point of reference. Like I told us, I'm a recruitment consultant. And when you tell us that you are a data analyst, you need to show us some things you have been able to do as a data analyst. So as we are building the portfolio, those projects are what we also not just gives you the access to be awarded a certificate in data analysis using Excel. Also, it will serve as a portfolio to you. And then the final bonus for this scholarship is at the end, towards the end, as regards to data analysis positions. This scholarship is something that none of us can afford to miss. I pity those who are not in the scholarship. Is something that none of us is not permitted to miss. I must say that. The bonus at the end we are going to teach you how to write a CV, a data analysis CV tailored towards getting a job in data analysis. Also, we are going to equip us with how to answer job interview questions as regards to is the bonus aspect of this course. And the beauty of it is that all these things are 100% free. Sometimes people say free things are not really done effectively, but not with me, not with us, not with Soluma Institute of Tech and Management. And I must say, it's not really free. Some persons have paid for it. It's just that it's given to 500 persons to benefit from. So to you are not paying a dime, but to us, we have been paid to deliver premium quality training, to deliver premium. When I say premium, and that is what we are going to be giving out in the next 6 weeks. The structure has been set. The training will be every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. Today is the introduction day. Tomorrow we are going to start proper with data analysis in Microsoft Excel. And I believe all of us tomorrow will be coming with our laptops, be going alongside with me as we progress. All right. Now having established this, having laid this emphasis, which institute in this training? I have talked a bit about me. I'm a data analyst with over 7 years experience working with data sets, and that I'm also a recruitment consultant. Institute of Tech and Management is an institute that is paused with an institute that is paused with trained core members, professionals in the area of tech and management. What we bring a blend we bring a blend of latest tech skills within the industry. The theory, as some organizations do, we also teach you both the software, like the HRIX, like the ATS or customer relationship, how to use the CRM softwares, project management softwares, not just teaching project management. We bring a blend of tech and management into what we are to do. At the end of every of our training, we don't just train, we show our students how to make money with the skills, and that is one of the things we tend to bridge in the 21st century training. Most institutions, most training institutes, we just train on the skill, but we don't just do that. We train the skill and also the way in order to make money using the skill, and that is one of the things we are going to do in this training, and that is Soluma Institute of Management, Soluma Institute of Tech and Management, and I will be your facilitator, Mr. Franklin. Some of you have met me in person, some of you have been under my tutelage, some of you have been in my class, some of you have not been in my class. Those that have been in my class will always know that the class is something that you are going to enjoy, and I want you to sit back and enjoy the ride. All right, let's proceed to the overview of data analysis. We are going to begin with definition of data analysis. What is data analysis? What is data analysis? When we talk about data analysis, what is data analysis? As we can see here, data analysis is the process of systematically, I want us to understand this systematically. My class is to give you the background. Today is to give you the background of data analysis, to understand a lot of things that has to do with data analysis. Then we move into practicals, projects from tomorrow. So today I'm laying the basics. Please, if you are joining us, if you are just joining us, remember to drop your name and to drop your scholarship ID. Please, very, very important. That way we used to take attendance. That way we used to take attendance. That way we used to take attendance. What this simply means is that it's not something we do haphazardly. It's not something we do anyhow. It's something that logic. There is a system. There is a pattern of we collecting, organizing, interpreting, and presenting data. It's not systematically. Here is the key to this definition. So data analysis is this definition. So data analysis is the process of systematically collecting, organizing, interpreting, and presenting. Why is that systematically? That is where the use of softwares come into play, where softwares help us to systematically collect these data, to organize them, and then present them, interpret them in a way in order to uncover meaningful patterns. Get this, when we forecast, we are forecasting based on the patterns, based on some certain information, some certain discovery we made from the data we have analyzed. So data to uncover meaningful patterns, trends, and insights. And this is the main reason data analysts are highly sought after across the globe, because there is need to uncover certain patterns and trends that will make industries, companies, institutions make meaningful decisions, make meaningful, set meaningful strategies. These are where companies compete favorably in the market. Data analysts are highly needed. Why? Because everything around us now is data. Everything around us is data. If we can systematically collect them, organize them, interpret them in a meaningful, we discover patterns, we will discover trends, and we discover insights. So data analysis is defined as a systematic process of collecting, organizing, interpreting, and presenting data to uncover meaningful patterns, trends, and insight. It involves applying statistical, mathematical, and computational techniques. This is where I'm going to take a bit of time. When we talk about data analysis, I break data analysis into two major parts. I break data analysis into two major categories. Some of you that are with me tonight, some of us are with me because you want to learn data analysis as regards to your research work. Or maybe you are writing papers, you're a lecturer, you're a lecturer, or you are doing some research work. You need your analysis in writing your chapters and stuff like that. And some of us are with me here because you want to be a data analyst in business related, financial analysis, business analysis, and what have you. So when I teach data analysis, I tell my students, data analysis is major categorized into two: the research part and the business part. So when we talk about the statistical part mostly deals with the research part. The statistical part mostly deals with the research. When we begin to talk about the ANOVA, or when you begin to talk about the correlation, regression, the ANOVA, the MANOVA, the ANCOVA, the t-test, the chi-squares, those are majorly in the area of research. Then when we are looking at mathematical and computational techniques, in the mathematical sense and computational sense, most of them are mostly tailored towards the business part, where you begin to use some mathematical like times, addition, average, and stuff in making some decisions as regards to business, sales, customers, and the likes. So it involves applying statistical, mathematical, and computational techniques to raw data, to convert it into actionable information. Not just information that we can work with, that supports decision making, problem solving, and forecasting. The core responsibility of a data analyst, please get this and get this clear now. The core responsibility of a data analyst is to support decision making, problem solving, and forecasting. In every institution you find yourself, whether research, whether business, your core responsibility as a data analyst is to provide support, is to provide meaningful support, actionable support, verifiable support via data for decision making, problem solving, and forecasting. When company wants to forecast their growth rate for the next 5 years, when company wants to forecast their competitive advantage for the next 5 years, they need a data analyst to conduct certain feasibility studies and research and come up with figures, numbers that support certain decisions. So that is on the aspect of definition of data analysis. Now, the next we will look at is types of data analysis. Types of data analysis. Now, under types of data analysis, categorically, data analysis is categorized into four. Categorically, it's being categorized into four types of data analysis. The first one is what we call descriptive analysis, or descriptive data analysis. And what is descriptive data analysis? From the word descriptive is from the original word describe. Something you can see, something you can feel, something you can describe, you can explain. This is 10, this is 20, the average. So data analysis, descriptive data analysis deals with data that we can see, we can touch, we can feel. So when we are talking about the average age of students, the students, we can see them, we can know their age, the average height. Those are descriptive analysis. Now, under descriptive data analysis, we can go further into, let me take a bit of inferential statistics. Inferential data analysis or inferential statistics or inferential analysis. It deals with analysis that is educated gaze. Is an analysis that based on what we take hypothesis. That's where we state hypothesis. Okay, it's not only you. I'm facing the same thing here. That's please confirm if you can hear me. I'm having a bit of network challenge. Please confirm if you can hear me. Confirm if you can hear me now. Confirm if you can hear me. Drop it in the chat box. Drop in the chat box if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. Please confirm if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. It's like my own, they show 3G. Oh God, what? Please, can you hear me? Kindly confirm if you can hear me. I'm having a bit of network challenge. Okay, so. And this mostly on hyper. Having a very strong network challenge here. A very strong network challenge here. Please confirm if you can hear me. Confirm if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. Kindly confirm. Confirm if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. Kindly drop in the chat box. If you can hear me, if you can see my screen, please kindly drop in the chat box. It's like we are back again. My network, I think network is having a bit of dealings with us this night. All right, I can hear you, I can hear you. All right, beautiful. Thank you for sticking around. All right. Now, inferential analysis area is something that deals with educated guess, where you make use of hypothesis. You state hypothesis, you make use of hypothesis. In other words, stating certain things you feel like this is what it is, but you need to run analysis on it, you need to run research on it. Not again. Okay. Now having established that we need to run due to our time. That's under inferential statistics. And when we talk about test of hypothesis, there are two hypotheses there are two types of hypothesis. For those of us into research, there are two types of hypothesis, or those of us that might be writing our project work and maybe you are writing a research, two types of hypothesis. One is what we call null hypothesis. A null hypothesis is where we say there is no significance. When you are stating a null hypothesis, like there is no significant impact, there is no significant effect, there is no significant difference, there is no significant damage. That is null hypothesis, stating there is no significance. Now, the second hypothesis is what we call alternate hypothesis. And as a researcher and as an analyst, when you are to state hypothesis, you start from null hypothesis, which says there is no significance, while alternate hypothesis is stating that there is significance. So in statistics, we call null hypothesis, we call it H naught, while alternate hypothesis we state H1. So that is a bit under inferential statistics or inferential analysis. We are not going to go into that theory. We are not going to be going into the theory now. So that is on that. Then the next one is predictive. Now under the predictive is what we use to forecast. We use the information we gather, the trends we saw to be able to forecast. When you see people talking about weather forecast or forecasting profit forecast, and one of the uses of predictive analysis is what company uses to set goals. Company uses it to give targets to employees based on some trends. So we can use it to set targets. This is a target we are working to meet because of this data, and the other data. Because of this, because of that, because of this information, because of these trends. So we're able to predict that in 6 months' time, we should be able to meet this place. And that is what also project managers, product personnel use in their product design, in project management, to use it to predict that by so time we ought to have gotten to this milestone. By so time this phase would have finished. By so time this work package would have been completed. That's the aspect of predictive analysis. Then the last one is prescription. Doctors use that to prescribe, prescriptive analysis. To prescribe, this is, you use it to state what the problem is. From the research, from the analysis conducted, this is what the problem is. That's what those in software designs, doctors, they analyze these issues and then prescribe what the challenge is, and then from there prescribe the solution. So data analysis is categorized into 4. It's being categorized into 4. 1, descriptive, 2, inferential, 3, predictive, and 4 prescriptive. This is the 4 types of data analysis. All right, then we proceed to the next. As we proceed to the next in this module, which is objectives of data analysis. Objectives of data analysis. What are the objectives? Why do we have to take up data analysis? Why is data analysis very important? Number 1, to support decision making, as we have seen in the definition. That's number 1 objective of data analysis, and that is, like I said, is your core. Is one of your core responsibilities of being a data analyst. Please, if you are joining us, drop in the chat box your scholarship ID, your name and your scholarship ID. Very, very important. All right. Now, having established that, the next one is to predict outcomes. To predict outcomes. In other words, to forecast, to predict outcomes. That's one of the objectives of data analysis. Then another objective is to validate hypotheses. Remember, I said that as a researcher, as an analyst, there are certain things you have to state. You make hypotheses, state your educated guess. From what I'm saying, there is no significant difference. There is no significant difference between the result of this year and the result of last year. There is no significant difference. There is no significant damage of this drug over these patients. That is one of the objectives of data analysis, to validate hypothesis, to show whether that hypothesis is true or not. Then the next one is to measure performance. That is why we need data analysis. These are one of the objectives of data analysis, to measure performance. Like I said, under predictive, and that we to use that to set targets, and setting targets for employees. With that, you measure their performance. So we use data analysis also to measure performance. Then to drive innovation. This is one of the core essence that makes data analysis so powerful, so useful in this 21st century. Because we are in the revolution, we are in the industrial revolution of artificial intelligence. And when we talk what drives artificial intelligence is data. There won't be artificial intelligence without data. So this is why data is needed in this age, because the rise of artificial intelligence, the rise of AI. Someone says that we are in the fourth industrial revolution. We are in the fourth industrial revolution. We have gone past the social media industrial revolution. We are now in the fifth industrial revolution. In this era is data. That is why most companies are having organizations now without even having really physical office. Without needing to have branches, physical branches, their presence are felt across the globe, everywhere. Of data analysis, ability to turn data into an informed decision and use it to validate and make some strategic innovations. So one of the core objectives of data analysis is that it drives innovation. It enhances data quality. It enhances data quality. It enhances data quality. A raw data can be transformed. A raw data can be transformed into an actionable data, and that has enhanced the quality of that data. A raw data being transformed into an actionable insight. Okay, the next one is to identify patterns and trends. These have been in the definitions. I wouldn't have to stress that much for that. Then to improve customer understanding. By the virtue of data analysis, companies uses it to improve their customer understanding, to improve their customer relations, to improve their customer engagements. Via data analysis, you know your customer demography. You know your customer behavior. That's why when you go through the internet, if you search for a particular date, if you search for particular stuff on Google and you come to YouTube, you see an advert that relates to that. Or you come to Facebook, you see an advert that relates to that. That's because of tracking your movement in the internet to understand your behavior. So with the data analysis, with the data algorithms, the service providers are able to understand your behaviors and then tell us some adverts to you, and that enhances their experiences and improves their customer engagements. It's identifications. That's why companies cannot joke with a data analyst. That's why a data analyst, companies that understands and does understand what they do, cannot do with a data analyst. So it is to identify risk and opportunities we use is one of the objectives of data analysis. All right, let's proceed. We move to importance of data analysis. Now, under importance of data analysis, number one is the role in decision making. Remember, when I started, I said one of your core responsibility as a data analyst, one of your core responsibility is you provide support in decision making. The support you provide in decision making, that is one of your core responsibility. So one of the importance of data analysis is the role it plays in decision making. And when we talk about that, we say data analysis is crucial in decision making because it transforms raw data into meaningful insights, guiding informed and effective choices. These are one of the importance of data analysis. Now, here is how it plays a key role. First, informed decision, then second, in risk management, then we have it in strategic planning, which we have really emphasized in this course, also in performance management, also in customer insights, which we have dealt with, also in competitive advantage is part of what we have dealt with. I'm trying to be fast so as to cover this module today. Then evidence-based decisions, not just making decisions, but decisions that we can see proofs and see numbers. Then that's under them. Overall, data analysis empowers decision makers with actionable insights, leading to more strategic, effective, and efficient outcomes. These are what we have been able to establish over the time in this course, and let's quickly move to the next aspect. We have application in various industries. Where can data analysis be applied? Where can we apply data analysis? So across which industries? There are different areas. When I started earlier, I said data analysis is needed across board. Every different diverse industries, institutions needs data analysis. So we say that data analysis is integral across various industries, offering tailored solution to enhance performance, efficiency, and decision making. Now we are going to be looking certain sectors that leverages on data analysis. One of the sectors that leverage effectively and efficiently in data analysis is the healthcare sector. The healthcare sector makes use of data analysis so effectively in order to decipher methods, health application methods that works better than the other, drugs that are more effective than the other, in drugs production, in different medical strategies, in different medical performances. Data analysis is highly needed. Medical doctors, researchers, lab technicians, lab scientists, they are all into analysis. Okay, finance to focus, to be able to get insight on how we are doing, what is the trend, what are the financial implications. So in the financial sector or the financial industry is one industry that can't make do or can't exist without data analysis. Let me put it that way. One industry that can't run effectively. You see the healthcare, you see finance sector. These are sectors that can't run effectively without data analysis. Then the retail sector. Then we have the manufacturing sector. These are different sectors that needs data analysis. Education sector, transport and logistics, telecommunications. These are energy. We have them entertainment and media, and so on and so forth. So irrespective of where you are you a business person making sales in the market? You need data analysis for your sales, for your business insights, to understand your customers and all that. So their data analysis can be utilized, highly needed across board, across diverse sectors and industries. So in summary, data analysis drives improvements, efficiencies, and innovation across various industries, enabling organizations to make informed decisions, optimize operation, and better serve their customers. Now, having established that, we look at the benefits of effective data analysis. Benefits of effective data analysis. We are going to look at the benefits of effective data analysis. It provides numerous benefits across different domains. Here are some of the benefits: increased revenue and profitability. And that is why businesses need an effective data analyst. So when you are going for an interview, and one of the things you are to ensure that you emphasize on is that you are bringing your expertise to help make informed decisions that will drive the increase of the company's revenue and profits. This is one of the key areas you are going to focus in using your data analysis skills as regards to job interviews. That you are bringing these skills, you are bringing your data analysis skill to help drive informed decisions that increases revenue and company's profitability, because that is one of the core advantage of data analysis, one of the core benefits of data analysis. So you are not just going there to use your analysis skills in order to solve problems. No, it's problems that drive you focus on to helping company drive revenue and profit. That is one of the key areas you have to focus. All right. Then the next is to improve customers' insight and satisfaction. To improve customers' insights and satisfaction. These are benefits of effective data analysis. No company, no people, no industry, let me put it that way, makes use of this better than the internet users. When they get your behavior in the internet via cookies to track your behaviors on the internet. When you do something on Facebook, you come to YouTube, you begin to see ads, or you go to another website, you begin to see ads. As regards to that, is part of analysis. When you go to your Facebook, you see your dashboard, your analytics, your performance analytics, your dashboards. Those are data analysis. One of the things we are going to be doing in this course is how you can build dashboards, how you can build effective dashboard that conveys data information effectively. We are going to do that, and that is why you are not permitted not to master this course at the end of this training. All right. Then the next is that it provides competitive advantage. Data analysis gives company an edge in competitive advantage under the industry they operate in. Then the next is better financial management. There is nowhere better to put it than this: better financial management. All right. If you are joining us, remember to drop in the comment in the chat box your name and your scholarship ID. Very, very important. That is what we are going to be using as our attendance as regards to this course. Okay. Then the next is enhanced productivity. Enhanced productivity. These are benefits of data analysis. Because of time, I'm not going to be dwelling much on this. It improves quality and compliance. That's why, as a quality control and quality assurance personnel, one of the skills you need to have is data analysis skills in order to improve quality and then to improve compliance. Then strategic partnership and collaboration. Then innovations, etc. Okay, we move to the key concepts and terminology of data analysis. We are gradually coming coming to the end of this introduction to data analysis. The key concepts we are going to look at. What are the key concepts? Under the key concept, we need to understand what we call data types. As a data analyst, you need to understand what we call data types. And under data types, data types is mostly grouped into two. Mostly we grouped it into two. The first one is what we refer to as qualitative data. Qualitative data. These are data that primarily makes use of non-numerical data. When you are talking about qualitative data, we are referring mostly to non-numerical data. So it's in a way that is, if you have made use of SPSS in your data entry in SPSS, you will see there is an aspect in data entry in SPSS. You see the place you have nominal, ordinal, and range thereabout. So those are, if your data falls under, if it's a non-numeric data, you can group it under ordinal, under nominal. So an example of qualitative data is data that you describe. Maybe is red. You describe it, the color of this is red, or the color of this is blue. You are describing, or you are trying to describe a particular data. That is qualitative. Or you are categorizing a group of persons. That is qualitative. Ordinal, nominal, visuals. If is in a research data analysis, if I'm teaching SPSS, I would have taken more time to explain these things: the ordinal, the nominal, when you use it, the categorical data, when you use them as regards to your research, as regards to your analysis. However, for the scope of this course, these are not what we are going to be looking into. If it's in SPSS, I would have done that. Okay, the next qualitative data, just know they are primarily non-numeric data. Then the next one is quantitative data. They are primarily numeric data. Numeric, provided they deal with numbers. That's quantitative. Qualitative, provided they are non-numeric, they are non-numbers, that is qualitative. So under the data types, we group data types into two major categories. That's the qualitative data and the quantitative data. They are primarily numeric data and are used to quantify characteristics, behaviors of phenomena. So when we look at discrete, ordinal financial performances, once it can be quantified numerically, that is, you can use it to explain certain stuff. Once you can use it to explain, that is qualitative. You are using it to quantify is quantitative. I guess we have gotten the difference between the two. So in quantitative data, it deals with numbers. Qualitative data deals with description, trying to explain, right? That's why in research there are two parts. In research, where you bring numbers into play, and then you write your conclusions and your recommendations. All right, then we move to the next aspect. We have variables. These are key concepts, terminologies we need to understand in data analysis. Variables. What are variables? When we talk about variables are data that has more than one occurrence. Let me put it down. More than one description. More than one a variable that it is variables are data that has more than one description or more than one category or more than one outcome. Let me put it that way. So when we are looking at variables, the opposite of variables is constant. Constant is one. One when is no longer one is now 2, 3 is referred to as variables. That's why gender is a variable, because it has 2 outcomes, male or female, generally accepted, not maybe different ones that are coming up now, but generally gender is 2 outcomes, 2 options, gender, male or female. When we have age is also a variable because there are different ages. When you say marital status, those are variables. Now, under variables, there are 2 major types of variables. We have the one we call the independent variable. The independent variable, if it's more of a research work now, I will begin to explain to us better on an independent variable. Independent variable is more of what we refer to as a factor in research. It's more of what we refer to as a factor in research, where is a variable that is manipulated or categorized to observe its effects on another variable. If, for example, let me give us an example here. If I'm looking at a student performance, what influences student performance? For example, what influences student performance? And I said, and I put like attendance to class, attendance to lectures, feeding rights. Those are independent variables. Attendance to class are independent variables. In other words, they are stuff that have effect on the performance of that student. So if we are looking at factors that influences students' performance, those factors that influences student performance are independent variables. So when we look at its effect on another variable, then that particular variable is independent. I'm not into research analysis now. I would have gone deeper to explain very effectively on that aspect. But know it that independent variable is that variable that stands alone and has effect on another variable in view. Okay, example here is in a study examining the effect of study time on test score. Like on test score, the amount of study time is the independent variable. So if we are looking at the effect of study time on test score, whether the more the person studies, whether it has effect on the score the person has on the test, that is independent. Then we have dependent. Dependent is the opposite of independent. Time will not permit me to go through those. Is the opposite of independent variable. Like here, the test score is the dependent variable. The test score here is the dependent variable. It's a variable that is measured or observed to assess the effect of the independent variable. Then we have other variables to include control variables, confounding variables, moderating, mediating, dummy variable distributions. These are other variables that we can bring. But in a nutshell, overall, we have 2 major variables, which are independent variable and dependent variable. Okay, we proceed. Now, having established that, the next we are going to be looking at as regards to data analysis is population and sample. Population and sample is regarded as the overall data set. The overall data set, the entire population, all the data in a certain population. That's all the data in a certain data set. That's what we refer to as population. So when we look at this, we say that the population is the entire set of individuals or items that is the subject of the study. So that's why in real life, in real practical sense, we don't make use of population. That's why in real sense, we don't make use of population when we run analysis. We make use of the sample. So population in mathematics is what we can call union of a set. In set theory is what we can call union of a set. The set that has all the data in place. Then the next is what we have here to be the characteristics. Under the population, what are the characteristics is complete. For you to say you are making use of the population in your analysis, you must have all the items in that data category. If you are saying you are making use of the fish in the river, you must get all the fishes. If you are running that, you are not running analysis on the growth rate of catfish. You are going to get all the fish in the river. So there it looks nearly impossible to do that. And then is fixed. That's two major characteristics of population. Then sample is a subset of the population. The sample is the subset of the population. If you are joining us, drop your name and your scholarship ID in the chat box. Very, very important, please. All right. Now, sample is the subset of the population, a part of the population. If you are looking at all the students in a university, but you want to run analysis on just a part of the students, that's sample. And that is what we mostly use when we run analysis. We mostly use sample, not the population. That's when in the lab, when they want to do analysis, do some analysis, they take a sample of that particular data set or that particular data category. So that is what sample is. And in real life, we run analysis using sample of the population. Whether it's a research analysis, whether it's business analysis, we make use of sample, not really the population. All right, what is the characteristics? Is representative and is practical. That's what we are talking about here. Is practical, is something that we can use in real life. Is something that can be used in real life. Is practical. Is practical. So in data analysis, you need to understand what a population is and what a sample is. I'm making this as easy as it can to every one of us. Whether you are just joining, whether you are just deciding to become a data analyst, or whether you have a background in statistics, or whether you have a background in mathematics or not. I'm just bringing it down to a point where it will be as easy as ABC for everyone, whether you have mathematics background or not, to understand. So far, so good. Let me see in the chat box if you are following me, if you are getting value tonight on this introduction to data analysis. Kindly drop in the chat box. Let me know if you are getting value. Tomorrow we are going to be moving powerfully into Microsoft Excel. Tomorrow we are going to be moving powerfully into Microsoft Excel, starting from the scratch. Is going to be awesome tomorrow. I must tell you, it's going to be awesome tomorrow. Okay, kindly drop in the chat box. Let me know if you are getting value tonight. If you are getting value, let me know in the chat box if you are getting value. That way it will encourage me to proceed. All right, types of sampling. When we talk about data sampling, we have the random sampling, we have the stratified, we have systematic, we have the quota sampling. Mostly in analysis, what we use mostly is random sampling, picking at random, selecting things at random. That is what we use mostly in data analysis. Time will not permit me to go into full details in this. Maybe as we progress in this course, I'm going to be explaining them as we progress. All right. Then the next we have is in our data, in our techniques and key concepts, the statistical significance. Statistical significance. Now, under statistical significance, we have that statistical significance indicates whether the results observed in a study are unlikely to have occurred by random chance alone. Now, this is where we talk about statistical significance, where whether there is no significant or there is significant. Remember when I talked about the null hypothesis and the alternate hypothesis. So when analysis is being conducted, the statistical significance, mostly which we in general we have to be 0.05, when mostly in social analysis, social statistics, we have our significant value to be 0.05. We use it to check whether we use it to make a decision whether the data, whether the result is significant or not, whether we will accept a null hypothesis or whether we will reject the null hypothesis. So in statistical significance is something that indicates whether the sample or the research or the result occurred by random chance alone. If the result is statistically significant, it suggests that the effect or relationship observed in the data is likely real and not just a fluke. That's what statistical significance is all about. All right. Thank you for having that. Yes, I'm getting value. Very well, sir. They are well explained with simplicity. I'm getting. All right. Informative. Thank you for that feedback. So what we are referring to statistical significance, if we are checking whether the strategy we applied last year to the one we are applying this year, if there is any significant difference. So the statistical significance here, the significant value which we mostly use in analysis, which I said is 0.05, we use it to compare our result with the significant value. If the result is greater than the significant value, then we reject null. If it's less than the significant value, then if it's greater than we accept null. If it's less than, we reject null. So that is the aspect of statistical significance. We need to know what it is. We use it to compare our hypothesis. All right, that we move to that which we have is null hypothesis, which I have talked about. Null hypothesis, which is H0, is a default assumption. Remember, I said data analysts, when they go into research, when they want to analyze, when they want to check whether certain assumption is correct, they start from null hypothesis. We start from null hypothesis, and that is why it's a default assumption. Remember, we said in inferential statistics that it deals with educated guess, not just anyhow guess that is backed up with data. So the hypothesis here, which we refer to as null hypothesis H0, is a default assumption that there is no effect or no difference between groups or variables. There is no significance. There is no significant effect. There is no significant difference. There is no significant damage. There is no significant relationship between groups or variables. That's what null hypothesis is saying. And as an analyst, you start your hypothesis, you start your assumption from no hypothesis. Effect. This drug does not have any effect on the growth of the patient. This particular method does not have any effect on our financial growth. Then we run analysis and check if that assumption is true, if that assumption is correct. So it represents the idea that any observed effect in the data is due to random variability rather than a true underlying effect. That's why the word significant is very vital. Not that there is no effect. There is no effect. There is no effect, that means that there is no effect at all. But there is no significant effect means we might have a slight effect. There might be a slight or minute or negligible effect. Those effects are not enough to cause any notable damage or any notable change or any notable transformation. So in analysis, we are looking at significance. So when you say there is no effect, you are stating emphatically. Whereas in analysis, in statistics, is what we mostly deal with probability. It's not a statement of fact. It's a statement that gives room. It's a statement that gives room for slight error, but that error shouldn't be so significant that it can cause a notable change. So when we are saying there is no significant, we are talking about there is no significant effect. There is no significant relationship. So that's what we are talking about here. Please take note of that. Now, example, if studying the effect of a new drug, the null hypothesis might be that the drug has no effect on patient recovery, like we are having here. The drug has no effect on patient recovery. So we run analysis and check if that hypothesis is true. If it's true, we maintain it. If it's not true, we discard it. And then the stuff becomes that the drug has effect, has a notable effect. So in that's null hypothesis. Then the other one is what we refer to as alternate hypothesis, which we call H1 or HA. Mostly the one we mostly use is H1. It's a hypothesis that there is an effect or difference. It's the opposite of null hypothesis. All right. Now we move to the final aspect of tonight's section. Please, I'm going to be running fast in this data collection. What aspects in data collection? We are going to be looking at it. What are the sources we can get data from? Are the sources we collect our data? Mostly is grouped into two. Mostly we have primary source. A primary source is a primary source is a source where we get the primary data. I'm going to explain it when we get into in that aspect of primary data. But sources of data collection, first is primary. Primary source is the source of the primary data. What's primary data? The primary data is data that hasn't been used for any purpose before. It is original, is authentic, is first hand. That's primary data. So anywhere we collect that primary data becomes our primary source. You went to the field, you are running a research, and you design your questionnaire and go to the field and collect information, collect data from people. That's a primary source, and that is primary data because that has not been used before for any purpose. So a primary data is a data that hasn't been used for any purpose at all. It hasn't been used for any purpose. So where you get your primary data becomes your primary source. I'm teaching some premium stuff this night. These are certain things you might not see anywhere on YouTube. I'm teaching some premium stuff this night. These are courses, these are stuff people pay huge money to learn, and you are having it this night for free, courtesy of this scholarship. All right, now the next source is secondary source. The secondary source is where you get your secondary data. The secondary source is the source of the secondary data. What secondary data? Data that has been used for some purposes in the past. For example, if you go to Nigeria Census Board and collect the population data of secondary data, because you are not the original owner of that data, you don't have the original right to that data. So that's secondary. You get information from the website, or you get information from any data sites and stuff like that. That is secondary data. And sometimes our analysis, our research, sometimes we make use of primary data and secondary data at the same time. Okay, the next is what we call data collection method, and this is where I will be wrapping up to next section. Now, what are methods we use in collecting data? Survey and questionnaires. That's one method, major method researchers use. Interviews is also another method of data collection. Focus group, where you come to a focus group and then you discuss and share information and share ideas. And then observation, when you look at certain things, observe and then make your decisions and get information, get data from that. That's also a method of data collection. Then we have experiments, like what persons do in the lab, run some experiments and then do some observations. Then case studies is also another method of data collection. Then we have document analysis, when you carry a document and study them, take it, read them. Lawyers does that. Some medical doctors study documents of health histories of patients, and then from there get some information from there and run some analysis. All right, then web scraping. That's for those in the web, under web analytics. Under web analytics, what we call web scraping. That's also using cookies and stuff like that. Online tracking is also another method of data collection. And ladies and gentlemen, it's on this note that I will have to come to the end of this section this night. Thank you for being available with me this night, even when the network was a bit challenging. I really appreciate us. If you are still joining us, you are here to drop your name and your scholarship ID. Drop it now in the group, in the chat box. Drop it in the chat box, and see you guys tomorrow, same time. We are going to be kicking it off powerfully with Microsoft Excel. You are not going to miss that foundation class. It promises to be an eye-opener. We are going to be dealing with a lot of things. We are going to be dealing with a lot of key things, foundational things as regards to Microsoft Excel. Thank you. Once again, I remain your facilitator, your host, and your anchor, Mr. Franklin, data analyst, Solomon Institute of Tech and Management. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you.